Fire signs. What's up, y'all? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. How are y'all doing? We're going to take a little look here today and check on the person you're dealing with's intentions. I don't think I've done that yet for this month, have I? So, for those of you who are in need of a personal reading, all the information on how to go about doing that is in the description of this video. This is not a collective fire sign reading. This is one reading for each fire sign, one for Aries, one for Leo, one for Sagittarius. All right, let's see, Aries. Let me just get a general overview of the situation you're dealing with. Just a general energetic overview. Let's see. General energetic overview, Aries situation. King of Wands. Well, that doesn't look too bad. Just the general overview, though. Page of Cups. What? Man, here for the past month or so, pages. Pages are coming out for everybody, man. So this is something that has a lot of potential for long-term commitment. A whole lot. Actually, some of y'all, look, Death upright, Tower reverse. That has on and off written all over it. All over it. So, I know that's not all of you, but some of you have been on and off with this person. And for some of you, maybe there was a suspected third party. There's some trust issues in here. But there's a lot of potential. If you and this person could get on the same page at the same time, working towards the same goal, there's no reason in the world why this needs to come to an end for any reason. Maybe you suspect you're dealing with somebody that's just gaslighting you, emotionally manipulating you, or just playing games in general. But from what I'm seeing here, that's not necessary. There's no reason in the world why the two of you shouldn't be able to work this out. So, some of you could have kids with this person, I guess. Could be a Scorpio for some of you. That's weird, dude. 10 of Cups. Empress. What's the problem here, man? This could potentially be very successful. Oh, we got that codependency card in there. Okay. Well, all right. Whatever. Let's go ahead and see. Now I'm curious. I want to see their energies and intentions. I want to see. I got a million things I want to say, but I want to see first. Let's see their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. Person Aries is dealing with. Do they mean well, or are you correct? Maybe they are just bullshitting you, blowing smoke up your ass. Let's see. Well, 5 of Wands, so very defensive and very, very defensive, argumentative. Fool card. I know that kind of has a bit of a negative ring to it, but it's really not that negative, to be honest with you. So far, now also this depends on how long you've been dealing with this person, but so far I'm not saying that this person has not done any bad things, but it looks like the biggest problem here is immaturity. I don't know why there's just been an influx of immaturity coming through almost every other reading that I do. The Fool card is very immature. For the major arcana, that's one of the most immature individuals in the entire tarot. Along with the Knight of Wands. It feels like this person means well. I mean, I think they actually do want to commit. They want to settle down. They want to commit. I just don't know if they really know how. If that makes sense. It seems like they're very lost, very scared, very confused, you know, and very guarded and defensive, like I said. 7 of Wands, 5 of Wands. So, I mean, I think they mean well. That's what it feels like to me. That's how it feels to me. Very guarded, very defensive, and immature. I guess let's get some advice here. Did y'all get notified? Do me a huge favor and hit that like button for me, if you would. I greatly appreciate you. Let me know if y'all got notified. Is this going to be one of them days? It's going to be one of them days where YouTube's like, I don't feel like giving out notifications today. It'd be like that, especially coming up on a Mercury retrograde. It seems like every time, without fail, every time I start getting emails, I didn't get notified. I see you went live 4 times. I never got notified. It's out of my hands. Nothing I can do about it. The only thing that I could recommend is that you check your notifications. Maybe turn them off, turn them back on. Anywho, let's get some advice on this. Okay, well, communication needs to improve, and that's just all there is to it, dude. So here's the thing. Yeah, another communication. So when I read intentions, the main thing I'm doing is trying to give you the opportunity to make the most well-informed decision that you can as to whether or not you're going to put up with some bullshit. Basically. You know, because intentions aren't the end-all be-all, but they are a very important factor. Like, there's some things that if I know your intentions, I'll let it slide. If I know your intentions, okay, I'll let that slide. There's other things that, fuck your intentions, you crossed the line. Fuck your intentions. I don't care what you thought. I don't care how you meant it. You crossed the line, deal breaker. So where do we draw that line? That's different for everybody. So when I read you somebody's intentions, it's to give you the opportunity to make that decision. Well, do I keep excusing this behavior just because they don't mean anything bad by it? Or do I finally go ahead and draw the line? And me personally, I'm not saying you should do it like me, but when I'm dealing with immaturity, somebody who's not mature enough, that's where I draw the line. Because it's like, if you're not mature enough, you're never going to grow past the level that you're at, like ever. You're not going to make it past that level. It's just not going to happen, you know? We're going to spin in circles. That's just me, though. You know? And I would imagine the older of a person that you're dealing with, the worse that would be if you're dealing with somebody in their 30s or 40s, and they still have the emotional maturity of a 20-year-old. You might want to ask yourself, is this person ever going to grow up? If they haven't by now, they might not. All right. Leo. Get a general energetic overview of Leo's situation. The King of Wands jumped out for you too. Isn't that weird? Ten of Cups reversed, though. I guess some of you could be dealing with a fellow Leo. That's kind of a weird combination. I Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen that before. So that's probably your energy. Oh, man. Some of y'all, I guess, could be dealing with a situation where there's addiction issues. It doesn't have to be, but there's some kind of dark entity at least shoving its nose in this situation. You know, I just kind of feel, I don't want to go as far as to say that somebody's intentionally throwing negative energy at this situation, but there is some kind of dark force that is creating an energetic blockage, creating a lot of fear, and again, could be creating like addictions and issues like that. And therefore, it's just not a very stable connection with the Empress reversed, Ten of Cups reversed. It's really not. I don't know, but you may be wrestling with your ego and your intuition, you know, like, should I just take this as a sign to walk away? Or should I continue to try to put forth energy and effort into this? If you're not in communication with this person, it doesn't look like they're in a hurry to get up and message you right now. I think they're scared. I really think they're scared. I think this person is a mess. Let's look at their true intentions. And you know, the main thing I'm looking for is some bullshit. The main thing I'm looking for. Do they mean well, or are they a sneaky, lying little sack of shit? What's their true intentions? Person Leo dealing with Ace of Cups reversed. Oh, okay, this is ego. They got a big ass ego. Yeah, Seven of Swords. Nah, I don't really think that this is somebody that you can really fully trust 100%. Not really. Not really. Not 100%. Not 100%. Six of Cups. Not really, man. Not really. When I'm looking at somebody's intentions and the Seven of Swords comes out, that's a sneaky, deceitful, lying little sack of shit. They got a big ego. They don't want to appear weak. They don't want to appear vulnerable. They want to be the one in control of the situation, if that makes sense. They want to be the one to run things. They want to be the one with the upper hand, you know? Doesn't look good to me. Doesn't look good to me. It looks like somebody with an inferiority complex who wants to be in control. What are you going to do with that kind of energy, man? What are you going to do with that? You can't do nothing with that. All right, well, let's get the advice here. Justice in the upright. There's times where you have to do what you know needs to be done, regardless of how it feels. Blum, blum, blum. Death card. Damn dog. 5 of Wands. Time to remove yourself from toxicity. Honestly, you know what this feels like? This feels like, for a lot of you, that if you would just let go, the trash would take itself out, wouldn't it? Maybe not all of you, but this feels like a situation that maybe you're clinging to the trash bag. This looks like something that if you would just let go, the trash would take itself out. I'm trying to figure out a different way to spin this spread, but I'm having a hard time with that. I'm having a hard time. I'm trying to cover as many situations as possible. But all I'm going to say is draw the line somewhere. Somewhere, draw the line somewhere. You know, at what point, especially if you've been on and off with them, especially, we have to, there's a balance between loyalty and self-respect. Where do I draw the line between loyalty and self-respect? Because loyalty is obviously a very admirable quality. You want to be loyal, you want to be faithful, you want to be a person of integrity. But what am I being loyal to? Right? What am I being loyal to? Am I being loyal or am I tolerating disrespect? There's a line there. I guess it could be fine. I personally don't think it's a fine line, but I could see where somebody would see it as a fine line. But no matter how fine the line is, when you cross it, it's fucking obvious. Am I being loyal? Or am I giving up my integrity and tolerating disrespect? Just draw the line somewhere, all right? Okie dokie. Sagittarius. Let's get a general energetic overview of Sagittarius' situation. Ooh, are you wrestling with your intuition over something? This kind of feels like a battle between ego and intuition. Some of you dealing with a Pisces, also have Cancer. Fire signs, stay away from the water signs. I don't know who needs to hear that, but I'd be willing to bet that of everybody that watches this video, probably more than half of the fire signs are dealing with a water sign, right? Guarantee it. Probably more than half of you. It's not a very smart mixture. I don't know who needs to hear that, but when they're representing our energies and elements, right? They don't do that arbitrarily. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this gets on my nerves. They don't do that arbitrarily. If you ever want to know, like, the potential of an energetic mixture, just look. Just look around. Look out here. That wasn't done arbitrarily. What happens when the air comes together and meets the earth? It's a tornado, isn't it? Not very harmonious. Fucking cool to look at. And it's on my bucket list one day to go to Oklahoma and ride along with a team of tornado chasers. It's on my bucket list, but not very harmonious, is it? What happens when air meets water? Bubbles. Really pretty for a short, brief period of time. Doesn't last long, though, does it? What happens when fire meets water? Either A, the fire boils the water, or B, the water puts the fire out. I guess if you need to cook something, or you need to save someone's life, okay, but generally not harmonious. Just think about that, man. Anyway, I'm trailing off here. And of course, all the pages in the Fool. Immaturity. Why am I seeing such an influx of that for the past, month or two? Every spread I pull on almost every situation. Page, night, page, Fool, page, night, page. I'm like, when are we going to get some kings and queens up in here? Only queen I see here, I feel like is your energy, the Queen of Fire. Kind of feels like Well, I don't want to speculate yet, but I feel like you're having a battle between your ego and your intuition. You know, something that feels off about this person. You're not 100% sure what it is. So, yeah, you're starting to kind of lose hope, lose faith in this situation. I don't want to speculate yet. I got a million things that I want to say right now, but since this is just the general overview, I want to kind of hang back and not say anything yet. But let's just go straight into it. Because if I go any further, I could potentially end up saying the wrong thing. So let's just go ahead and get into their intentions. Person Sagittarius is dealing with. What are their true intentions? Do they mean well? Or are they a sneaky, deceitful, lying, little sack of shit? Whoops. Okay, well, there's definitely an energetic blockage here. There's some sort of energetic blockage. So I don't know. Like, for example, maybe for some of you, this is a person at a distance. There could be family issues creating a blockage, conflicting work schedules. There might be one or two of you dealing with somebody at the workplace where workplace relationships are against company policy. Some kind of blockage here. And I don't know if this person has the balls to do what it takes to overcome that blockage. One that I hear a lot is family. Like you're dealing with somebody where your mama's in your ear saying, oh, what are you doing with them? You deserve better than that. Don't mess with them. Sticking their opinion in their ear. Okay, well, if we don't overcome this blockage, it ain't going to work. Are you going to tell mama to fuck off? If not, this ain't going to work. If we're at a distance, who's going to leave their life behind? Somebody leaving their life behind. Somebody is. Either you, me, we better figure out who's leaving their life behind. If we don't get that planned and figured out, this ain't going nowhere. Right? If there's conflicting work schedules, somebody better be getting a new schedule or trying to find another job. Whatever it is, I don't think this person has it in them to do what needs to be done to overcome the blockage. I don't think so. And I think they also have their options open. I think so. So that's not very solid intentions. Not really. Not very solid. So, yeah. Damn. Bummer, dude. Bummer. And again, with the immaturity. I sound like a fucking broken record. I can't stand it when the same message comes out over and over and over and over and over. Because it just sounds like I'm making shit up. I'm not. It just keeps coming out and coming out and coming out and coming out. The Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands are arguably the least mature characters in the entire tarot, you know? They're afraid of rejection. That's what it is. What's the easiest way to prevent rejection? Put your guard up and don't let nobody in, right? Throw that guard up. Don't let nobody in. Plus, like I said, I think this person has their options open. They are thinking about whether or not the grass is greener on the other side somewhere. That's not very solid. Not very solid. Let's see what advice we have. 7 of Cups again. Maybe you should keep your options open. Maybe. Maybe you ought to keep your options open. The question is, and this is just the question to ask yourself, no matter who you are. How long am I gonna let myself go crazy, wondering whether or not this connection's ever gonna work out? Shouldn't that have to be the last thing on your mind? Wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you think that when you're with the person that the universe wants you to fucking be with, I'm not saying no problems. I'm not saying there's no issues, there's no challenges, there's no obstacles. I'm saying that wondering whether or not it's going to work out or how somebody feels about you or what their intentions are, those should be the last worries on your mind. They should be the last worries on your mind, you know? So how long am I going to sit around and put up with it? How many nights of sleep am I going to let myself lose? So, yeah, like I said, I've said this a million times. I can't just tell you to walk away from someone. Can't do that. Can't do that. That doesn't work. But I will tell you to ask yourself how long you think you should have to be confused about somebody's feelings and intentions. How long should it take for me to gain an understanding if you were the person the universe picked for me? I don't know. I don't know what kind of situation this is, so I got to skim the surface because there's all kinds of you watching. Past person, current long-term relationship, new person. But for those of you dealing with like either a love interest or somebody you're on and off with, I know that when I was dating, I've been with my divine life partner for 7 years now, but when I was dating a decade ago, if you strung me along for a month, fuck you. Fuck you. I ain't playing that game. Strung me along for a month. A month. I'd tell you to fuck off. You playing games with me? Ain't no reason in the world why I should be wondering how you feel about me or where this connection is going after a month. You're playing games with me, fuck off. I eventually ended up making a beeline straight towards my divine life partner. I did. I ain't putting up with confusion. I'm not putting up with, mixed signals and mixed messages and all that bullshit. I'm not doing that. Not putting up with it. Not putting up with it. It worked for me. It definitely worked for me. So, just take that and do with it what you will, I guess. All right, y'all, I feel like those were the messages that my fire sign family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is all down here in the description. All right. I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of